So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with
And I'm Joe from Within the Ruins.
there are some questions today about their upcoming album Phenomena 2. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty excited. It's been a while, so I think people are excited about the sequel, the Phenomena sequel, and the whole theme of that. So yeah, I don't pay attention too much to comments and stuff like that. So, but I've heard that people are enjoying it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
that's good enough. You're best off staying out of the comments section.
Yeah,
The
Mhm.
yeah.
album rips. It's so good.
Oh my God. It's huge. I fucking love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank
Of
you.
course. So is there any meaning behind the cover art and any reason why this is part two?
I'll try to do the short story. I mean, the cover art is based off the original, if you look at the 2014 Phenomena. But we had an artist actually paint this one. We were trying to like go with the same color scheme and like the same type of thing, but update it in a way instead of doing the what the other one was kind of like very computery to
Mhm.
me. So
Hmm.
we wanted to
Yeah.
just add a different element. Yeah, and so it has the original one has the hand dropping the watch on it, and this one has the monster hand coming back up as like a continuation of like, picking up on this album.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I mean that's pretty much the basic idea.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then the reasoning behind this being a continuation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no worries.
So it wasn't like premeditated necessarily. I'd been writing and working on new stuff after Blackheart came out in like 2020 it came out, and I take my time writing, but I think we originally at one point we thought the album was going to come out in 2023, and we were really taking our time. It just takes me a while to write and stuff. And then I don't know, I was like maybe halfway through the album doing demos, and I think I had something that reminded Steve, our vocalist, of like Phenomena, like writing style
Hmm.
for some reason. Um, yeah, and he tossed out the idea of doing, so we didn't get to do like a 10-year anniversary of Elite. We always wanted to like celebrate an album. We kind of do like a 10-year thing, but COVID screwed that one up.
Mhm.
So he's like, "Hey, Phenomena's 10 years in 2024," and we kind of shot him down, and we're like, "No, let's keep going. We can do something else." And
Hmm.
yeah, but then I started writing in that vein and kind of thinking about it, and he flew here to my studio to do like a few songs and just kind of start the process of just fooling around, adding vocals to stuff.
Hmm.
And he had some stuff prepared that was kind of themed like the original, Marvel characters and stuff like that. And yeah, it just kept getting delayed and it was getting closer to coming out in 24. So we were like, you know what, let's just do it. Everything was kind of like came together. The timing was cool. Steve was kind of saying like he was searching for inspiration. You don't always have a million things to write about, I guess, or say.
Yeah.
Depends on the space you're in. So that was getting him super excited. So he just kept pushing it, and I started, I took a listen to the original album, and I was like, okay, yeah, we can probably do something like that. So just it just all came together.
Hell yeah. That's
That's
sick.
fucking awesome. Using your
Um,
own album as fucking inspiration is so cool, especially that
Yeah,
far
it was.
along.
It was definitely interesting, but yeah.
hell
Yeah.
yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
It's been kind of the same process for a few albums now. Like I have my own studio. I've always had a version of a studio, whether it be a room in my house or, as we progressed and I got into engineering and recording and stuff, I started to take it to the next level. So a lot of it is once I am motivated enough or like feel like I can get myself fully into this to the writing space, like opening that door after putting an album out always takes me some time to like give my, 100%. It's just a lot of effort mentally, I feel like, at writing as much as I enjoy it. But yeah, once I start, I just start slow and I generally riff and just kind of, play around with a few sessions and I just start writing. And then usually to me, most of the stuff is not great at first. It's kind of like exploring,
Hmm.
just kind of getting stuff out of your head and just starting to get into the process. But I generally sit down, demo, I do guitar, drums. And when I get something cool, I'll send it over to the guys, Dropbox or whatever,
Mhm.
email like most people do now. And yeah, I just sit down in my studio and riff away and record as I go, and then I send to the guys kind of for approval or like thoughts, because the direction doesn't always start out with a direction. It just is a pile of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're all still active in the creative part as far as like people, in the band will pick out, oh, this thing you did here was really cool. We haven't done a lot of that, or maybe we should bring back some of this type of riffing. Like it's a lot. This one happened to be like kind of looking back at our catalog too, and like um not necessarily like trying to reinvent the wheel or like really explore outside of the box. It was kind of like, let's do what we know we can do and do it good. And that's what people want to hear. Let's not be a different band, you know?
Mhm.
So for this album, there was a bit of that, but yeah. And then as we get stuff done, Steve will write, and so for this one, he flew out for vocal sessions because he's in Texas. We're in Massachusetts. It was probably like 4 or 5 sessions of flying out. We'd do a few songs at a time, and then we scrapped a few. We had like 4 or 5 songs that didn't really end up making it to the album once we got into the further into the process.
Mhm.
So that happens. And yeah, Paulo actually did his bass tracks from home this time
Oh,
because I
nice.
sent him like pretty much finished material, and he recorded and sent stuff back. He's been super busy with life and work and stuff, so it's cool. We've never done that before. But yeah, pretty much do everything like at my studio, and we just take a really long time because we can kind of. But
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
yeah.
fair enough.
Oh yeah, badass. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Hmm. I can tell you which one didn't take the longest to write because like some
Uh-huh.
of them earlier in the writing process, sorry, I have to remember I wish I had the thing in front of me. I have
It's
my
all good.
Dropbox with the album. Like the songs that were earlier were like Demon Killer, the third song there, which is going to be a single,
Mhm.
and Chaos Reigns, Death Mask, some of the stuff on more like the B side.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, those ones were like pretty quick, and it was
Okay.
kind of like, okay, we got something. Those songs are more to the point, I think. But I don't know. I think they're all different. Sometimes like what's another one here? Oh, Level. No, no, sorry, Daywalker, the second one on the album.
Hmm.
That was like worked on throughout the almost whole process. Like for some reason, I had like the beginning, I had some stuff. I left it alone, went back to it like a year later. Um, because like I said, like having the time and then really once you start doing vocals and getting into the album, you start to get the feel of it. So we start with the ones we have, and then once you're in the process, you go back to the others and you're like, oh, maybe they need adjusting or change some structure or rewrite sections. So like
Yeah.
Daywalker was one that got like rewritten and re-riffed like a million times. Like we were literally creating musical parts while Steve was recording some of it because I was going off of like his vocal parts.
Hmm.
Like his chorus idea was cool. I think we kind of made some stuff up as we went, which
Hmm.
which is cool. So
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, I work on songs for like probably 2 months, like one song till it's to where I think I can send it to him. And but they just continually, we have the studio, so the sessions just get opened up here and there, and we just kind of jump around and right up till the day we had to send the stuff to mix, I was still working
Okay.
on like the instrumental stuff because it just there's no real end. You can always
Hmm.
open it, especially the instrumentals. I can always open up a session and be like, oh, I need some more leads here. I need some
Hmm.
like need to extend parts or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All
Yeah.
right. So would you like classify yourself as like a nitpicker when it comes to songwriting and creating songs?
a nitpicker. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty like I wouldn't say like OCD, but I'm a definitely kind of a perfectionist and
Yeah.
so I mean that kind of is what landed me in the engineering and recording the stuff on my own anyway, because I was
Hmm.
just always drawn to that and I love
Yeah.
that process. Yeah, like every single note, every drum hit, every single thing is accounted for and every single thing is there for a reason. It's not like it just happened. So like
Of course. Yeah.
um yeah, a lot of t most musicians are like that. But yeah, I mean I try to like not, you know, sometimes I can't get out of my own way and that affects like the productivity, but at this point, we've done this for a long time, so we still have to remember to enjoy it. And like, it's, yeah, but I'm pretty fussy. I'm sure Steve could agree with that one. Like, I was engineering his vocal tracks, so we have a lot of fun, but it's a lot of takes and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure.
And favorite off the album.
My favorite song?
Yeah.
Oh shit. It literally changes. Honestly, when we finished the album, my favorite songs were like the ones that were done at towards the end because they were more like fresh to me. Like Castle in the Sky. That was the first single we put out. That was like one of the ones I wrote towards the end of the album. So, and I thought it had a lot of like kind of similarities to a few songs on the original Phenomena, so I thought that'd be a good opener. So, I mean, so far we've played that one live. It's great live. I love that song. I found myself lately being like, I don't know if we chose the right singles, which kind of sucks. Like all the songs are great at a point
Yeah.
where like we don't even care. Pick any song.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Not, in the most humble way. We were like, we love it all. Well, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter
Yeah.
what we put out. But yeah, now I'm like, wow, we should have put like we should have I wish we kind of did like Eater of Worlds as a single or even Daywalker, but that's also because we did videos and we listened to the singles so many times we're probably like over them right now. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I even answered. Oh, I'm pretty stoked about yeah, I think I'm pretty stoked about Daywalker.
Hmm.
The instrumentals. Um I love all three of them. Enigma 2 was really fun to do, and I didn't even really know if I could or should do it because I didn't want to like ruin the when there's like a sequel to a movie and it sucks.
Yeah.
I was like kind of worried about that, but it came together and I was happy enough with it to put on the album. But I love doing that one, and the other two singles are just like they're very different, but I'm sorry, the instrumentals, but I love doing them because I don't really have to think about vocals and I don't have to like think about structure and I can just like do whatever. I don't even have to worry about playing them live usually. So
Yeah.
like some
Yeah.
of the shit on the instrumentals is like very tough,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Just having fun.
yeah, I don't know. I think Daywalker is really my favorite one right now, which is not a
Hmm.
single, but it's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
solid. Yeah.
So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opening of the opener, close the big closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I think I pretty much put the order together for the most part. I think everybody in the band would have a different order.
Mhm.
We knew Castle in the Sky would be the opener, and I wrote the whole intro to it while we were mixing the album, so that didn't even have the intro that it has. And I wanted it to kind of be like the Gods, Monks, Men intro, which is what opened the original Phenomena. So a little familiarity there, and it's
Hmm.
like a cool new intro like type of thing when we play live, come
Yeah.
out to
Hmm.
that. We always like to have like some sort of epic like intro thing.
Mhm.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure. My thought was kind of it definitely takes you on a journey. Um, you got like the first few songs are pretty much rippers, I think, and then there's an instrumental like early on the album but earlier than we normally put them, but there's three on this one. So I thought the thought was like you're getting hit with all this stuff and a lot of, a lot of vocals, a lot of everything. So the instrumental is like kind of a good break. And then yeah, as it gets deeper into the middle of the album, I think there's some stuff that's like takes a little bit more, excuse me, a little bit more to digest, but I feel like that's if you get that far into the album, that's a good place for it. And then yeah, I don't really think like anything with the characters per se that that inspired the songs, but I don't know. I just put myself kind of in the headspace of like being a listener,
Yeah.
and I know all our music, and I'm like thinking of like people who are fans and like where the little surprises would be, a way to put it together to where it stays interesting, and
Mhm.
because a lot of times our stuff is pretty full blast, so. It's I can see it being kind of a lot to listen to the whole album all at once,
Mhm.
Mhm.
depending on the person. So we were trying to keep that in mind. But
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Heard. All right.
yeah.
So where was your headspace at while creating the record?
Uh Lots of good places, lots of bad places, all over the place.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I mean, overall, a lot of this stuff started when we were still in COVID.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So that was a different type of you know, I can't really I mean, the one I can say that like most of the songs and the stuff I write, the music part is like basically comes from however I'm feeling at that moment, and if whether I'm inspired, if I'm inspired enough to sit down and write, I'm either probably pretty happy or pretty sometimes depressed, sometimes angry. And
Mhm.
that's kind of I think how we get like the different vibes on the different songs so that every, not so that every song kind of has a different feeling that it gives me at least, and I think like that's the feeling I had and it hopefully transfers to the listener.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was like very in general very excited to write. It just took a while and it was also just a weird time for like anyone else get being in COVID, coming out of COVID and then things opening back up and like that affected, if it affected, mental health for people, including myself, whether you knew it or not.
Hmm.
Um, but I was overall like pretty stoked to like it was kind of nostalgic, I think too. Like once we had the idea to go back and listen to our old shit and like I said, not focus on creating a new within the ruins sound or a new type of thing. It was like we felt comfortable with like doing what we feel like doing what we know how to do. Just let it out and as long as it's fun,
Mhm.
that's what the album's gonna be. We're not trying to like fucking reinvent the wheel. So that was
Mhm.
kind of the thing for this album.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends and dog with headphones on? Is it workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Oh, geez. Shit, that's a tough question. I think whew. So we're doing this listening party at my brewery in a few weeks. And it's like with a lot of people there, it's very loud, but we're gonna blast the album on the speakers in-house. And I
Mhm.
actually think that's probably not the best way to listen to the album because it's
Mhm.
there's a lot to like you have to pay attention kind of when you listen to this stuff, I feel like. So I
Yeah.
think you'll probably get more enjoyment out of it if you kind of sit down in your car. Is a great spot. I
Mhm.
personally can't stand when people listen to shit on their phone or their laptop speakers because it's like you don't get anything even close to the effect that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great workout music for sure. I know a
Hmm.
lot of our fans tell me that, and I listen to the same type of shit when I get to work out. But yeah, I think more like just kind of being able to focus and like take it in, kind of be able to concentrate a little bit on it.
Mhm.
Would
Yeah.
probably be a better way to digest it, but whatever works, man. However you use music, whatever you like to do,
Yeah,
It should. Yeah.
All
for
right.
sure. Yeah. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Heavy, melodic, and epic.
Damn right.
Those are good.
Epic.
Hell yeah.
I hope that's what I think of it as.
No, nailed it.
I would say so. So, can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
At doing it myself, engineering it was a challenge for some reason more than the other albums were because you can the original Phenomena I engineered, I tracked everything, edited, did everything except mixing.
Hello.
This is my first time doing an album like that, and I totally like made it too perfect, but in a way it's like known for that. Like people kind of like are interested in the sound.
Yeah.
So my idea for this one was to make it more human and actually, don't worry and edit the shit out of everything and don't spend like 3 hours playing 5 seconds of a riff.
Yeah.
Because like, I got to a point where I'm like, man, it's kind of like missing. Like I like albums where you can hear the people, like the guitar player's hand moving on the strings, or
Yep.
you hear these little nuances where you're like, man, that's him playing for sure. I mean, like I always played, but I was trying to leave like a lot of the shit on this album, like probably 50% of it is guitar from the demo when I was just sitting, writing and recording as I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
I never even went back and re-recorded some of the stuff because I was like, it sounds fine. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay if this and this don't line up perfectly because sometimes stuff can even like mono out when it's too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge. It wasn't necessarily a negative challenge. It was a challenge to let myself just kind of have let it have some nuances and just kind of leave some takes where I'm like, yeah, just not necessarily sloppy, but I'm like, that's just me playing. So like that
Exactly.
was kind of my goal
Hmm.
personally, as far as like engineering and recording myself and Steve on this whole thing. So it was a challenge, especially
Mhm.
being perfectionist, like we said.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
I just got flashbacks. I think I have PTSD from that scenario. Um, well, yeah, I always like tried to do a fairly good diet on tour once I had enough money to buy food, but I usually go for like beef jerky and peanuts and like uh yeah, not that that's really good. I don't know, like packaged shit is whatever, but I yeah, I'm a beef jerky peanut type of guy, and then it would normally be beer, alcohol,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
taking a break on that right now. So but that's normally what it would be, yeah.
Hell yeah. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So, if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh, a steak and a beer.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice and
Solid.
easy.
All you could ever
Yeah.
need. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I'm a pretty big Back to the Future fan.
Hell yeah.
So probably something like Back to the Future where he goes back in the past, time machine shit. Like I
Mhm.
love history and like thinking about what shit was. I mean, because like not even 100 years ago, life was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So um I don't know, some kind of time machine type of Doc Brown Back to the Future scenario.
Hell
Damn
yeah.
right.
All right.
Shit, fuck.
And I've done asked the last question. Every single person that you've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Green?
Good.
That's important. Yeah, I guess so.
Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
got a
answered it like
specific
a
shade.
question. Are you sure that your favorite color is green?
Yeah.
It is green.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
All right.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I appreciate your time and thanks for having me. This is a podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll have to check it out. I don't know, man. We're just album's coming out August 23rd. We're doing the pre-album listening party at my brewery Tin Bridge in Westfield. So the album, the vinyl, everything will be available there before it comes out. And we're doing some tour dates in October that we're going to be announcing soon. So we're doing like a few different legs. We're doing Midwest, we're doing the Northeast. We're doing it the way we can right now with us all having a job and I have a son now. So, but we're going to be out there in October doing some touring and get out to as many places as we can. So keep an eye out for the limited amount of tour dates too.
Hell yeah. All right. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you, Sal. It's been Joe from Within the Ruins, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.